The past few months have given me a lot of time to think about how it feels to be me. At its best, it feels bright and shining, and it's like walking through gold. At its worst, it feels like I'm carrying the world on my shoulders. And I know many people can relate to this feeling of putting your weight in gold. Black dust in orbit crashes down like a parachute. Bricks on my shoulders. This gravity hurts when you know the truth. I'm pulling my weight in gold. Call me anxious, call me broke. I can't live this on my own. I'm pulling my weight in gold. Call me anxious, call me broke. But I can't live this on my own. We dreamt like martyrs. I never thought I was bold enough. You pushed me farther, baby. I'll take the pain for the both of us. I'm pulling my weight in gold. Call me anxious, call me broke, but I can't live this on my own. I'm pulling my weight in gold. Call me anxious, call me broke, but I can't live this on my own. Oh, universe, hold me up. Tried your best, was it ever enough? No, no. When it's already dragging me down, I'm pulling my weight in gold. Call me anxious, call me broke, but I can't live this on my own. I'm pulling my way, baby. Call me anxious, call me broke, but I can't live this on my own.
We're all born free and equal.
Don't discriminate.
These are your human rights. There are 30 of them. They belong to you. You don't have to buy them, or apply for them, or ask permission to have them. They're just yours. No matter who you are, where you're from, how old you are, or anything else. It's just that simple. Now, some people may try to ignore your rights, or violate them, or pretend they don't exist. But they can't change the fact that they are yours. Human right number 30. No one can take away your human rights. What are human rights? Find out at youthforhumanrights.org.
Good afternoon, good evening, bonsoir, ladies and gents. Welcome back to the Justina Mutale Foundation's World Summit on Women and Girls, celebrating the 2020 United Nations International Day of the Girl. If you're just joining us, my name is Fatoumata Diallo, and I'm pleased to be your host for this session dedicated on generation equality. Now, this morning, we have had 2 sessions on leadership and human rights, and we also heard from 2 former heads of state, including Her Excellency President Atifete Jahjaga, President of the Republic of Kosovo, 2011 to 2016, Her Excellency Dr. Amina Gurub Fakim, President of the Republic of Mauritius, 2015 to 2018, and we also heard from many other world leaders. Now, always in this attempt to raise the voice of the adolescent girls, it is my absolute honor and pleasure to introduce His Excellency Ilir Meta, the President of Albania, for our next keynote address. Now, I would like to remind that President Ilir Meta was elected as a president in 2017. He previously served as a prime minister from 1999 to 2002, and also became the second youngest prime minister in Albanian history at only age 30. President, the stage is yours.
Honored Dr. Justina Mutel, President of the Justina Mutel Foundation, Your Excellency, President Atifete Jahjaga, Excellencies, dear women and girls from around the world, it is my pleasure to participate in this World Summit on Women and Girls, which celebrates today the 2020 United Nations International Day of Girls. I am convinced that this event will serve to women and girls share their experiences and challenges, from gender equality of women and girls empowerment, from gender-based violence to female leadership. I would like to thank in particular President Atifete Jahjaga for taking care of my presence in this summit today. She became the first female president of the Republic of Kosovo and of the whole region, and she has constantly advocated for women's and girls' rights in Kosovo, in the region and beyond. During my long experience in politics, I have been fortunate to work and collaborate with many women and girls with high professional integrity and extraordinary commitment to their jobs and responsibilities. Distinguished participants, the pandemic COVID-19 has put the world into a serious social, economic, and health crisis, and has amplified gender, race, ethnic, and socio-economic inequities. Women and girls around the world have been especially affected by this crisis. We as leaders should acknowledge the widespread uncertainty, lead with empathy, and help build environments where women can advance. Even in such a difficult situation, I have seen women in Albania and in the region and all around the world work very hard, dream very big, and be optimistic despite the challenges we all are facing. Ladies and gentlemen, gender equality is still an unfinished battle and a big challenge for our societies. Nevertheless, for many women and girls whose freedoms and rights are still being violated, their engagement in the administration, the public service, and the politics is now an undeniable fact of social emancipation in my country. I would like to congratulate them because it is undoubtedly because of their merit and their high commitment to lifelong education and training. We must value the intellectual and professional assets of women and girls in politics and policy making. I shall admit that in our excessive political discourse and in our masculine social environment, it is not easy for a lady, both a wife and a mother, to be engaged in political life or public service. Therefore, it is important to promote as many models of successful women and girls in politics as possible, models of devotion, dedication, and commitment. We should promote and prioritize equity and inclusion, a more agile and flexible workplace, better services and infrastructures to facilitate women and girls' advancement in our society. Our society should strongly address the issue of violence against women and girls, which entails significant social and economic costs for our countries. Decreasing and eliminating violence against women and girls requires a community-based, multiple approach and continuous engagement of all stakeholders. Failure to address these issues means a significant cost for the future of our society and our countries. That's why we should all work together to ensure that women's and girls' voice is heard. Honored ladies, a great woman, one of the greatest that humanity has ever had, Mother Teresa, says, "The world is full of good people. If you can't find one, be one." It is the essence of love that Mother Teresa leaves behind that reminds us of the power that resides in us all. As long as we have a heart and a mind centered on love, we are empowered to make a difference in the lives of many. Thank you for the strong messages you are giving to the world through values all of you not only believe in, but also work hard to make them happen. I wish you a lot of success in this summit. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. This was His Excellency President Ilir Meta, the President of Albania. Indeed, we must promote the education of women and girls. And this said, I would like to come back to an earlier statement made by Her Excellency Dr. Amina Gurub Fakim, first female president of Mauritius, who said that we need more investment in education, and especially more quality investment in education. And it is within those lines that I would like to say, at the Justina Mutale Foundation, our scholarship, our flagship program for the past few years has been to provide an opportunity to young African women and girls from underprivileged backgrounds the opportunity to access higher education in overseas institutions throughout our scholarship program. According to the World Bank, 130 million girls are out of school globally. And also, 9 out of 10 countries in the world where girls have the least access to education are in Africa. At the foundation, we have put this at the core of what we do, providing a unique opportunity to these young women the possibility to access tertiary education so they can later access the jobs that will bring them both the freedom and the dignity that they deserve. So this said, I would like to invite you to listen to one of our partners from the US, one of our scholarship partners from the US, and also 3 of our scholarship recipients, Lubona Chirwa, who is a scholarship student from Italy, Mpande Piri, who is a scholarship student currently studying in the US, and Gombe Shinonge, who is a prospective scholarship student currently waiting in Zambia.
Greetings from Atlanta, Georgia, here in the USA. My name is Ray Jackson, and I am founder and director of New Seasons Youth Program. New Seasons Youth Program is a nonprofit organization designed to assist students who come from marginalized communities in Africa and the Caribbean with obtaining a college education here in the USA. Our mission is to make a difference in the lives of fellow human beings by eliminating the social causes of poverty, by promoting tertiary education to disadvantage and financially challenged youth and young adults in Africa, the Caribbean, and young people worldwide. Since the inception of our program in 2010, we have secured well over $3.5 million in full-ride scholarships for 45 amazing academically sound students from Africa and the Caribbean. Oftentimes, individuals ask me, Mr. Ray, how do you do what you do? And I must admit, what we do come with challenges. Nevertheless, because of organizations like the Justina Mutale Foundation, whom we have partnered with, we are able to make the dream of a college education a reality. And you may ask how? Well, for many of our students, the Justina Mutale Foundation has secured or purchased airfare on their behalf. Not only that, but the Justina Mutale Foundation also provides us with a pipeline into Africa, where we are able to identify potential students who meet the qualifications of our program. So I would like to say thank you to Justina and the Justina Mutale Foundation team for all the work that you do and for the support that you have given us over these years. And we look forward to working with you in the future. God bless.
Hi, my name is Mpande Piri and I'm from Zambia. I'm a scholarship student of the New Seasons Youth Program and the Justina Mutale Foundation. I'm currently pursuing my bachelor's degree in electrical engineering at Alabama A&M University in the United States of America. I will be graduating in May 2023. After I obtain my degree, I wish to start a firm that will help improve the power systems supply in my country and hopefully extend to other countries within Africa or even outside Africa, collaborating with various firms. On top of this, Justina Mutale is very inspirational to me as she is determined to bring girls like me out of their comfort zone and achieve dreams that we never thought we would achieve. This is why I also wish to start an organization that will help future generations after me. Without the Justina Mutale Foundation, I wouldn't be where I am today, getting the best quality of education that I am. As the New Seasons Youth Program, in conjunction with Justina Mutale Foundation, helped me secure a full-ride scholarship here at Alabama A&M University and paid for my airfare all the way from Zambia to the United States of America. Saying all this, I would like to humbly request for donations to help future scholarship students, girls like me with a great vision, to get out of their comfort zones and come to places that they never imagined they would be, to achieve their dreams and goals. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Luana Abigail Chirwa and I come from Zambia. I'm currently a student here at the European School of Economics in Florence, Italy. I'm studying international business and marketing. I am a student under the partnership with the Justina Mutale Foundation and the European School of Economics. My goals and ambitions are to use the education given to me to help other young African creatives and entrepreneurs like myself. My personal journey highlight has been the wonderful internships I've had through my school, which have enabled me to network with influential people who have given me so much advice and assistance in my personal endeavors. Please donate to the Justina Mutale Foundation Scholarship Fund so that other young African girls just like me can have this wonderful experience. Empower girls and women through the Justina Mutale Foundation. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ngombe Chiengo, Zambian. I'm the prospective scholarship student of the Justina Mutale Foundation. Ngombe Chiengo is a hardworking, focused, and determined school leaver with big dreams who grew up in the rural parts of Zambia in a small district called Kalabo. I come from a family of 6, 4 girls and 2 boys. My parents didn't finish school, and despite being financially unstable, they always encouraged us to work hard, with special emphasis on the girl child to be brave. Growing up in a community where it is believed that a child's place is in the kitchen, where early marriage is prioritized instead of school, I had to brave tradition that is backward in pursuit of a dream. In school assessments, I was always first, and leadership traits were apparent even then, such that I became head girl of my high school, a peer educator, and I was an active member of Young Women's Club, Math and Jets clubs. In my final exams in 2014, I got 6 points with distinctions in all but one subject. I hold the record of being the first ever girl in my district to have distinctions in mathematics and sciences. Unfortunately, my parents could not afford to sponsor my tertiary education, and that's when I learned about the Justina Mutale Foundation. Given the opportunity, my ambition is to pursue a career in the world of business, particularly economics and business administration, after which I would want to participate and contribute to national development in various capacities within my expertise. I'm passionate about education. Therefore, I'd love to set up a foundation that helps the less privileged young people to further their studies because I resonate with the applied. A scholarship from the Justina Mutale Foundation will assist my educational and career goals by lowering the cost of college tuition throughout my studies. I would like to call for donations from all well-wishers to assist me and future scholarship students realize their dreams. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ray Jackson, Lubona Shibwa, Pande Mpiri, and Gombe Chiengo. As you have heard, ladies and gents, with the scholarship program, we have been able to give a chance to the girl child to realize their dream and potential, so they are fully equipped to contribute in building their country and their economy. And also, we are helping equipping them with the competitive advantage in the 4th industrial revolution that we currently live in. Now, with your help, ladies and gents, we want to take this scholarship program to the next level. With your help, we can help more beneficiaries. We have so many young girls on the waiting list, waiting to start their tertiary education. And also, with your help, we can extend the scholarship program into other parts of Africa, for example, the Francophone Africa or the Spanish Africa. So I would urge you to please donate to the Justina Mutale Foundation Scholarship Fund so that other girls, such as Lubona, Mpande, and Gombe, can realize their dream through our scholarship program. Please donate and change the life of somebody, of a young girl, and help a young girl to realize their dream. Now, with this said, I would like now to introduce our next panel, the so-called Generation Equality panel, My Voice, Our Equal Future, Adolescent Girls and Millennials as Disruptors and Drivers in Advancing Equality. Moderating this session, incredible Sherry Ann Dixon, founder of Women on the Crossroads. And welcome, Sherry. You're on mute, my darling.
Oh, that's a shame. I was saying what a wonderful event. I've been watching it all morning, 5 o'clock my time.
Amazing. So now you have the best session of the day, Sherry, and you have incredible speakers. You have a great mix of global panelists. We have somebody from India. We have a Hollywood actress. We have a lot of young girls from across the world. And so you have a really, really vibrant panel. And so it's all the floor is yours.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you have some young ladies wanting system change. So go on, Sherry. I will leave you with it.
You know, this is the side that I like. I'm all for younger generation making a difference. It's my thing, and so I'm really glad that I was given this opportunity to speak on the Generation Equality panel. The theme is My Voice, Our Equal Future, and it's about adolescent girls and millennials as disruptors, what a lovely word, as disruptors and drivers in the advancing equality. So let me welcome our panelists. There are so many of them. Oh my God, hello.
Hi.
Welcome, girls, welcome, boy.
Hello. Hey, Sherry.
Come in.
Thank you.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna ask. So if I can ask you to not have your phones talking to me as well, but if you could just introduce yourself as you speak. We'll start off with the first person that came in from India. Please introduce yourself, your name as you would say it and not how I would say it. So please introduce yourself.
Good evening, everyone. I'm delighted to be a part of this event. My name is Srishti, and I'm a young law graduate from India. I graduated in law last year, and I have been associated with the National Alliance of Women's Organization, NAWO London, for the past many months now. And I have been contributing to the organization, producing articles to them, in writing for their newsletters, and I think that it's one of the most monumental event of my life as of yet. So I'm pretty excited to be here. Thank you so much.
Welcome. That sounds so interesting. Okay, next person, and that's from the UK.
Hi, my name's Tallulah Ahmedu, and I'm currently studying my GCSEs for this year, 2021. I'm going to be taking them. So I'm currently in year 11, and I've done a couple of speeches before with the Justin Mutale Foundation, and I'm very happy to be here.
I'm happy that you are here. Thank you. And then next, I think I'm going to be talking to a film actor. My goodness.
Hey, Sherry. How are you? I'm
really
Kashyap. I'm an actor from India. Right now, I'm in Los Angeles. Yeah, and I'm a creative director at Euros Productions. And it's been great seeing you all guys, talking here about all the speakers that I've seen since now. I'm almost at a point where I don't have to say anything, like all the guys have covered everything here. And
I know.
It's just been so empowering to see this.
It's so upsetting when they nick your speech, right?
Yeah, they did. It's like all we have to say now is like some policies in our industries, that we have here. That's all we have to express. But it's already been discussed, and they have talked at the length about the whole thing. But it's my pleasure to be here.
We'll come back to you. Back to you, definitely.
For sure.
And of course, the fourth person in the room, in the UK, can you say your name and what do you do? Teaser.
Hello, good evening. Thank you for having me. My name is Tiza. I'm based in Chichester, UK, as well as Zambia. I'm one of the youngest members of Team Justina Mutale Foundation, and I'm also an entrepreneur. And I am looking forward to hearing what everyone has to say. As my fellow colleague just said, everybody has nicked my speech. So there's just a few things there's just a few things I'm going to touch on, and there's one thing that everyone has forgotten to mention, especially concerning our adolescent children, our adolescent girls and millennials as well. Something relatable, something I've noticed we haven't spoken about.
Okay, but we're going to come back to that. So the subject matter, my voice, our equal future. Obviously, you're the Generation Equality Panel. Can we all, starting off with the first person that spoke, give me your comments, your thoughts? Remember, we were only on 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes maximum. So let's talk about that. What are your views on that?
Sure. I find myself extremely fortunate to be a speaker in this panel of young heroes who have all come together to celebrate the International Day of the Girl Child 2020. And we have assumed the responsibility to speak on the issues that concern each one of us. The theme for this year's UN Day of the Girl Child is My Voice, Our Equal Future. And it somewhere unites us all in celebrating the deep potential that we girls have, and in highlighting the issues that pose as hindrances, especially during these tough COVID times. It also aligns with the movement that young girls are leading and in fighting for the reality of the world that we were promised. The Beijing Platform for Action in the year 1995 made the promise to all girls and women everywhere to provide equal rights and opportunities to all. It laid down the most comprehensive and well-planned blueprint for advancing gender equality and in empowering the coming generations as well. Undoubtedly, there have been obstacles in the achievement of the aspirations, goals, and actions that were promised to us. And there are persistent stereotypes and gender norms that continue to exist even today. But with young, brilliant minds like you and so many others, we see hope, spirit, and change that can make this world a better place to live in. With young ladies and even men engaging more and actively participating in raising our voices, we can assure a better future for the humankind. Each one of you has already served as a remarkable example to the world in working towards these sensitive issues, and all we have to do is continue raising your voices, continue fighting for the causes that affect us, continue driving the force in leading the world, and of course, continue inspiring each other. Thank you.
Oh, I love that. Continue. I hear the word continue. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And we'll go to the next person who spoke second. Yes, you know who you are. Yes.
Yes, so we are so lucky to live in a generation where young girls are told to have high aspirations and that they can do whatever a man can do. This is constantly repeated, whether it's from teachers in schools or live reports in the media. We are told over and over again that now is the time for young people to act. Now is the time for young people to make a difference. It's our future and our lives to live. We are constantly told to create change, however, we are rarely shown. We are told by ministers that millennials are the key to creating a better world. We are also told that girls should fight for their rights in gaining equality, but we are not shown through the laws passed in Parliament. We are not shown through the gender pay gap. As a young girl, I'm told that I will always be able to achieve my goals if I work hard. But then I see that 74% of companies pay males more than females for the same job. This is why equality, especially in this generation, is a tricky topic. The majority of people agree that change is needed, but only the rare few show it. Being a millennial is especially hard as we are expected to reverse over 100 years of social damage in the next 20. We are pushed to make a change, but not always given the means to do so. We wait as we grow older, as our futures are decided. We are pushed to make a change while many of those in the power to do so do nothing. As a girl growing up in this generation, I ask that we are led by those above us. So as millennials, we demand for legislations and equality to not only be passed, but implemented by authorities in real time. On this note, I would like to thank the Justine Mutale Foundation for allowing us to take part in this conversation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tallulah. That was lovely. I made some notes there. I might need to talk to you one day because you look like you'll be taking over in the political arena.
Thank you.
The next person, please. You can unmute yourself. It's the boy in the room.
It's me. I thought that was Tizi. That's all right. So I'm representing the film industry here. So what I'm here to represent is some of the policies that we have and the struggles that we, specifically the film industry, that faces in women's equality and especially the equality pay. I have inclusion rider as a policy for artists who can enforce and provide provisions for filmmakers and actors in their contracts for casting a certain level of diversity in their crews and in their artistic representation. The second thing is the parenting and the psychology, because my work is always deals with the people's motivation of why they do things they do, and that's why the psychology comes in there. And the third thing is the practicality. It's like when we are really in the industry and what kind of experiences and challenges we face when the rubber hits the ground, when it's really time to implement those policies. And I'm a very big supporter of he for she movement. It's one of the pillars in my artistic community that I'm proud to say that I represent. And we as he for she movements people, we have always committed ourselves to keep in mind that what we can do to support those women, as Srishti said, that we have to continue the work that's already being done. So how can we support that continuation? That's my representation for this panel.
Oh, what a lovely representation. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
That was really nice. And definitely the he for she movement has been said a few times today. So let's keep supporting that movement, bring it back, make it more focused. Let's move on to the next person. It's Nikki.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. It's an absolute honor to be here for this very special day and very special cause. And I was also very honored to have my dance performance viewed at the very beginning of the program. So I would actually like to come from that perspective in the arts. As a dancer, my whole career is dedicated to women empowerment, and my own dance group is called Dance Shakti, and Shakti is the Sanskrit word for female power. And it is not only in the arts that this female power has its own potential to change the world. And it is this that I'd like to talk about today, and how we must, as women and young girls, we must bring each other up as well. Because as much as you may follow your own goals, when we face all the barriers that throughout all the industries, whether it's education, whether it's business, whether it's the arts, whether it's politics, it's when women come together that we see real change. So through social media, through whatever means you can, as all of, as millennials and Generation Z, as I am, we have access to so many more platforms to make our voices heard. And it's this way that we can forge collective action and work together to push for change. And that's basically what, small steps can make such a big difference. And we can each be an agent for change in society, because every culture, it's always evolving, and it's generation after generation that we can help evolve our own cultures into more open and more opportunistic types of norms and beliefs within the cultures, because it is our responsibility as the younger generation. I myself, as a Brit Asian, there are many barriers within the Asian community about perceptions, gender discrimination, and sex bias. So it is about, as a young Asian Indian woman, how I can change that, talking to people around me, through discussions, and through what I pass on to the next generation as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That's such a positive statement. You know, be an agent for change. That's what I love to hear. I'd like to also bring on the other person that I might have missed before, Sarah, or is it Sarah?
Hi, it's Sarah. You got it right. But hi, I'm Sarah. Nice to see everyone. I'm really, really honored to be here today, to be surrounded by all of these amazing people who care as much about this cause as I do and as many other girls around the world do as well. As someone who grew up in the industry and just as a normal kid growing up in California, just going to high school and stuff, I feel this issue is very, very important to me. And one thing that I've been wondering my whole life is, how do we empower girls? And it's not as simple, unfortunately, as just saying the phrase girl power, because while having great intentions, women's equality is a much, much deeper rooted issue than that. And if we want to drive change for ourselves and for future generations, there are some big steps to take. And this type of change comes from this type of major widespread change comes from every single woman and girl in her everyday life. And it's about teaching young girls to make difficult decisions in the hopes of inspiring her peers to do the same. It's about putting yourself on the line and calling out people, not just when you are being treated unfairly, but when others are being treated unfairly. Women have to start using our privilege to stand up for others who can't. It's about being loud. I don't know about you, but I'm tired of social norms teaching girls to be polite, agreeable, and quiet. One thing I wish I was taught as a little girl is that you can and should disagree with people. Girls are targets of so much criticism on a daily basis, no matter what, so it is pointless to try to conform to others' beliefs. And I want young girls to know that there is so much power in being 100% your true and authentic self, even if that means rejecting the status quo. And there's so much power in owning that and trusting your voice. So I hope that I, along with other women, take that step to implement small and consistent change in our lives. And even if it may be uncomfortable to raise our voices, if one girl raises her voice, it will inspire another and another and another to do the same.
Yeah, I like that. I love it. Use the power of being your true and authentic self. I absolutely love that. Thank you, Sarah. And for those who don't know, Sarah, you're a Hollywood actress, right?
Yes, yeah. I've been acting since I was 10.
Okay, that's as old as my youngest grandchild. So did I miss somebody? I know I did. I'm sure I did. Did we all speak? Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. So in a nutshell, I'm going to touch on something Miss Nishi touched on, which is social media. I feel like with The Voice, we need to use and teach our adolescent children to use their social media platforms to voice out simple, basic human rights that people don't practice in today's age. And me saying that is because 10-year-olds these days have Facebook accounts, and we need to teach them at home, and it's all in the mind. It starts at home. We need to teach them about just a simple, basic human right, which a lot of people don't have. So it could be about equal pay. Some of their teachers don't get the same pay as the male teachers. And I feel like we also need to teach them to be disruptors of society's rules, especially today in this day and age. It's a shame we still have to voice out, over something so simple and something so basic that doesn't really need to be spoken about. So I'm happy I'm on this panel, and as I said earlier, everybody has touched base on every single thing. So I'm really happy that we're agents of change.
I like that. And I want to I'm so happy that they put me in this panel, because I feel I'm with the future leaders. Absolutely love that, Tisa. Thank you so much. The next person, I think I've got one more person here. Yes, I don't know how to say your name. Is it Michelle?
Yeah, Michelle. Can you hear me?
I said it right. I can hear you, Michelle.
Super.
Introduce yourself and what do you do?
Okay. Yeah, so Michelle Kakonde is my name. I'm currently a university student at the University of Southern Denmark. I'm pursuing economics of the Middle East and also the general history of the Middle East.
Okay, and would you like to go ahead and talk to us about the, what we're discussing, your voice and your equal future?
Yeah, basically, if we look at equality, or let me say generational equality, that is within the millennium, I think one of the first aspects that we need to appreciate is the fact that, as humans, we must be able to be treated equally. There shouldn't be the aspect of sex, or let me say gender. Both women and men must be treated equally. And being a protagonist of female leadership, I believe to say women are also equal to the task. And one of the things that we could contribute as millennium men, I would say, men within the ranges of 1981 to 96 or 5, somewhere there, we are classified as the millennials. We must appreciate the aspect of also understanding to say cultural aspects really matter when it comes to equality within society, because the cultural orientation or the background of someone, especially within society, really matters. And for me, I believe to say if we are able to try to see on how policy could be changed in terms of how things are running via the national documents, that is the constitution, that would be the best way to go. Because you'd find that I would give an example of, most African states, or let's go in the Middle East, where women are mostly treated as low within the society. And mostly they are trained to always be submissive to men. So that in itself distorts the whole notion of equality. And I believe to say, if we can go back to the roots, then we'll be solving the aspect of generational equality. Yeah. And
that's it.
Yeah, that brings me to the second point. Generational equality also implies the aspect of, I would say, the education aspects also. What are the children or the young people taught about, about issues to do with equality within society? If the education system also incorporates the aspect to say the young women cannot take part in positions of influence, that is leadership, then that education system would be termed, for lack of better terms, as a rotten system. Because just like the earlier speakers, I heard Dr. Mutale, giving us an insight, and also of the great book that is Iconic Leaders that, that she's written about. We must appreciate to say even the, a long time ago, women were involved in leadership, influential leadership positions. Even now, we have seen also the aspect of her excellence, that is in Mauritius, being top of the government. So I believe if we inculcate aspects to say women in society can do anything, that is the beginning of better things. We must be able to change, the knowledge to say it's not about being the secretary of someone. It's not about, being the second in hierarchy, but you must be able to also go for the top jobs. I think that's the best way to go about such things. And I'll give an example of Europe here where I am, Scandinavia to be specific, in Denmark. I think you'd be able to appreciate to say, most positions of influence are occupied by women, and women are doing quite fine in terms of execution of leadership. So, of course, we must be able to also appreciate history. Where has Europe come from? If you talk of the times of, before the First World War, of course, women at that time, I think 1914, 1913, somewhere there, that's when, here to be specific, where given a leeway to start voting. But we must understand also to say, history appreciates generations, and if we cannot appreciate that is history, we cannot be able to determine where we are now and be able to project the future. So if we understand to say there's always that aspect of knowledge exchange from this continent, Europe can learn on how Africa as well is doing, and also the Africans or people from the Middle East as classified also could learn in terms of how things are running. I think that is the best way to go. But otherwise, thank you
so much. That was really good. I enjoyed listening to you, and I could listen to you for the rest of the day. But we've got to move on because we've got to take questions from the audience. But so far, each one of you on the panel has said some really good things. Change is needed. 74% males get paid more than. It's just ridiculous. I start stuttering at that point. The he for she movement, that was really good. And the change that you really want to see, that is really important for us to say to another person, because sometimes we need to cajole another person to be the best that they can be. At this point, I'd like to ask the audience if they would like to send us some questions, and then we'll choose people in the panel to ask. Might not be able to ask everybody, but let's give it a try. What are your questions? Otherwise, I'll be talking for days. Is there a question from the audience? Everybody's shy today. Well, if they're gonna be shy, I'm gonna maybe ask each one of you to come back with a point, one point that somebody can take away. I know that you did your 2-3 minutes talk, but for each person, I'd like you to come back with a point that you're really adamant that is important. I mean, I'll tell you my point, right? I wrote down here, realizing women's rights for an equal future, and men and women should get paid equally for work of equal value and share, most of all, the care work in the home. That would help a lot. And second point is governments should be committed to take strategic, bold action in areas of concern. And those concerns for me were poverty, education and training, health, violence, definitely violence, power and decision making, human rights, and of course, I think all women should be involved in political life because I think they can make a difference. So I'll leave it to you. Somebody take the floor. Somebody must have something to say. He'll take it.
I'll take it. Yeah. So the way you are talking about the violence and, especially the domestic violence, it's getting at its peak and it's getting horrific out there. I'll say this one thing, that we men, we need to redefine the masculinity, the ones who are not standing up for those women. I know the one who are doing the damage are the horrific ones, but the ones who are just standing by the side and not doing anything, it could be neighbors, it could be anyone around the workplace or in that area. but the ones who are not standing up to those people, like I feel like we are the ones who are becoming a culprit in that kind of situations. You know, that's the masculinity I think we need to get back. That's what we have lost around here. To get up and stand up for them and say that this needs to stop wherever you see it. And I think Sarah can even also relate to this. Whenever we have like actors, we are in backstage or we are in on a film set, and there are this kind of conversations going on about women, which is degrading to them and demeaning to them, and you know you will always see people just going along with it rather than saying that this is something that I am not comfortable with. This is something that I would not like to be said here, and it creates a real life effects out there. That kind of masculinity which lacks in the men, that's a very deeply troubled issue for me, especially Sherry. What do you think, Sarah, about that?
I completely agree with everything you just said. I think 100% it is complacency and lack of action and being a bystander that most of the time keeps women in the position that they are in. It's standing by and watching these small things happen. You know, it may not seem like a big deal, you know, comments that maybe someone was making about a woman, or if you recognize that someone is being paid unfairly, it's standing up for that and putting yourself and your career on the line to stand up for those people who can't. And I think 100% it's complacency and apathy. And yeah, I think that if people just, one thing that I noticed on a film set is that if you look around, it's a lot of men. And that's not because women aren't capable of being on the crew or being on set. It's just that I think a lot of the time they're not empowered to believe that they can do that or that they're just as good as any man. And so I think all of this starts with teaching girls from a very young age that they should believe in themselves and their decisions, and they shouldn't second guess their decisions, and that they are capable of doing anything just as much as a man.
Just to come in?
You're right.
Just to come in?
Okay.
Yeah, great. I just wanted to also stress out the aspect of stereotypes within our societies. Stereotypes demean women, and you'd find a good example I'll give you is, for me as a man, I would go to, of course, this is maybe a practical example I'll give. I would go to a bar, or let me say, a drinking place. That would be termed as normal. But if a woman was found in such places, they would be classified as prostitutes. So those are the stereotypes that need to be reduced as much as possible within society, and we must be able to rethink and change such kind of thinking. You'd find that there's issues of name calling pertaining women, and I believe to say we as the men in the millennium, in line with the discussion, the topical discussion, of course, that is my voice, our equal future. So as millennium men, I think we believe we would want a society that is equal as much as possible, and a society that is free away from stereotypes. Each and every person must be able to live, in a free and without any form of, victimization. They must be able to enjoy themselves. Yeah.
Definitely. And I definitely know what you're talking about, stereotypes. I'm coming to you. What we're talking about, stereotypes, needs to be changed, because especially when young girls or like my nieces come from abroad, and then they come and they want to go and sit down somewhere and have a drink. That's what they're used to in the UK and in America. And then when they got to the Caribbean here and they went out to sit down in the bar for a drink, it was almost like, well, they were hot stuff, and that mindset definitely needs to change. Can I go to the next person?
So I'd just like to say So yeah, there are laws in place to prevent discrimination in pay. However, I don't believe that the government's doing enough to act on these, as there's much information around how women are paid less than men for doing the same job. So I feel like the government needs to act more on implementing these laws, and businesses need to be held accountable, as I'm pretty sure in the majority of workplaces, evidence for women being paid less can be found simply by asking. And so I feel like the governments need to do more to implement these laws.
Yes, it would be helpful if they took the stance first. I've got 5 more minutes, so
if I may just add a little bit to Talula about what she said about the implementation of laws. I am myself a law graduate, and I can understand that that is the main problem, where we see that the implementation of laws are not taking place in the entire country, be it in my country or be it in the other countries. But I think there's another aspect of it that we really need to look on, is the sensitization of everybody. I think people should be sensitive about such issues, be it authorities, be it the government, be it the policemen, be it men, women, anybody. I think they should be very sensitive to these issues. They should be tackling them with a lot of compassion, with a lot of basic sense of human rights. And I think they should be taught about these things from a very young age.
That's true. I like that. Yes. I like that.
And I'd like to add on to something as well.
Okay.
All right. I'd like to add on to my fellow panelists in the industry of art said. I was not long ago. I was reading. I was so happy to read this. It came up into my emails, my Yahoo mail. And I was so happy to see that Chadwick Boseman actually shared his pay with Sienna Miller, because she was getting paid so little. And that's such a shame compared to how much he was getting. And I would like to urge more men to speak up and help females in the workplace raise their voice or project their voice towards such basic human rights, such as equal pay. And on top of that as well, I would like to urge our brothers, uncles, fathers at home to encourage women, their sisters, wives, cousins, to speak up, to make them feel confident, help them be comfortable and confident enough to project their worries, either be it at work, in a social setting, anywhere else, because we need to change. And as Mishik said, when I was in Zambia, I would go down to, there's a bar opposite where I live, and I'll just go in there just to buy a few drinks and take them home. But as soon as I enter that bar, I'm looked at like a hot piece of meat, and it's very uncomfortable. And it's like, what's wrong with me coming into this place? Just getting a few drinks, take them out and go home. But I don't know what we can do about that. But as I said, as an agent of change, I do advocate for equality.
Well, yes, and you guys are.
With regard to, go on.
Can I just go? I need to go to Labuno, because she hasn't said much, and then I'll come back to you to end. Okay, Nikki? Okay, Labuno, I got you. You've been quiet over there.
Lorna, yes, I'm here. I loved everything that everyone had mentioned, and they brought up very valid points and very valid observations. I think, personally speaking, as in my journey and where I am, I'm in university and I'm in my second year, and I'm about to graduate, and I've gotten to a place where I'm now planning my financial future. And I feel like, especially for female equality, there needs to be more clarity and more openness in terms of salary and also job opportunities. A lot of times when you go for job interviews, especially in the corporate world, in the business sector, as a woman, if I start asking about my salary, or if I start wanting to negotiate, it's a very daunting task for a woman to say, okay, this is how much I'm worth, and this is how much I want to get paid. because there's a feeling of backlash of almost being undeserving of that salary. So sometimes when they say, how much do you want to get paid? You kind of have a feeling of saying, let me undervalue myself, because if I ask for what my male counterpart is getting paid, I might be seen as being too aggressive or being too demanding. So a lot of times we tend to compromise on our actual self-worth just in order to be accepted into an environment. And from there, it extends into promotions and climbing up the corporate ladder. A lot of times, a man can work off the base of his hard work. And a lot of times as a woman, and what I've seen is you can have your hard work, but at the same time, you have to be liked. You have to be seen as someone who is, a very bright person, or you have to constantly prove your worth. So a lot of times I think in the corporate world, I feel there needs to be more work done to make it an inclusive environment. It's not enough to just say, let's hire more women and make sure there's women in this job post. But there needs to be work to say, are women who are in this environment, are they comfortable? Are they happy? Because, a man will never have to worry about saying about paternity leave. He'll never have to say, oh, if I decide to have children. But there's this fundamental moment through a woman's work career where you start worrying and saying, if I decide to have a child, I have to sacrifice something. And we are constantly in the climate or in the environments feeling like we have to compromise and have to sacrifice something to be on the same level. So I feel like it's not just enough for men to speak up, but also it needs to be done in the corporate structure, and it needs to be done in the business environment and for work, to make sure that people who are there are happy, and women who are working and working quite hard don't feel like they have to constantly prove their worth in extra ways. So, especially with the issue of the pay gap, because a lot of times women do know that they are being paid less, but it's just there's no environment of openness to discuss it. So you feel like it's an internalized issue. You're not getting paid enough, but it's almost out of your hands and you won't speak up about it. And also the male colleagues in your company aren't willing to talk about it because they feel like they would have to give up perhaps some of their pay for you, but it's something that needs to be done.
Thank you so much. I have only got like 3 minutes left, otherwise they're going to cut me off, and I don't want them to do that. I'd like to ask, I'll tell you what I want to do, because I've just said what I want to do. Nishi, I'd like you to speak next, and then Sarah.
Sure. Just on a note about what we can do as individuals, whether is basically one of the biggest issues is how women are represented in mainstream media still. This is a long-standing issue, and it really hasn't changed despite there being a lot of buzz on social media. There's a big disparity between what I would perceive people my age to think how they want to be portrayed on media and what's actually being done. And here I think social media and our voices come into play, because my biggest role models I see on social media, this is where we see real women doing work in all, whatever they're doing. This is where we hear their real voices, real personalities of women. And I can see, oh, she is doing this. She is like this. She is using her voice. She does have confidence, and, she doesn't have to prove herself. She's just doing this. And this is where we can all play a role. And there's such inspirational people on this panel and throughout this summit. And it's really use your platform, raise your voice, because you never know who you'll be inspiring. It's not about how many followers you have or anything like that. Just simply by having some sort of presence, you are a role model for someone. So I think that's really important.
I think that is so important, and it's about content. It's not about how many followers you've got, it's about the content that you put out. Thank you for reminding us of that. And I have to close, so I'll go to Sarah. Sarah.
I absolutely loved everything that everybody said, especially Tallulah. I loved what you just talked about. I think there's this one thing that this great writer and activist, Lovia Jolly-Jones, talks about, and it's this thing called a domino effect, where if one person stands up and speaks up for what they believe in, then another person will likely say, like, oh my gosh, that's so crazy. You've experienced this too. And more people will raise their voices. And so I think that it's important for not to wait for that one first domino, but for everybody to start being that first domino and take that step. And then that's the only way that we'll be able to have widespread change. But yeah, that's it.
Thank you. And just before we go, I'd like each one of you to say a word. My word, as Dr. Justina Mutale knows, is awesome. Awesome. I think she's awesome for really putting this whole thing together, the idea together. So my word is awesome. So if we go right around the room before we go, because the idea of this word is to encourage people to think positively about themselves and to put it out there and get other people to start thinking about their positive words. So let's go. You go. You take the role. Yes, Tallulah.
Inspiring.
Inspiring. I like that. What's the next one?
Beautiful on the inside.
Beautiful outsiders. Next one.
I would go for woman of power. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Woman or women?
Woman. That is, you say only this, Dr. Justina, right? So I would say woman of power. Yeah.
Okay.
But if it's cool. In general, I would say women of power.
Of course, if you're talking about all of us on there. Okay, next person, please.
I was going to say inspire, because I believe that's one of the best ones, but I would also say represent.
Represent, yes, of course. And you've been talking about representing quite a lot. I like that, so keep that up. Next person, please.
A pioneer.
Pioneer. Perfect. Next person, please.
Yes, tenacious.
Tenacious. I like that. Next person, please.
I guess powerful. She's extremely powerful. And somewhere she has only empowered us to strive for the best and to do for the best.
Yes. And the next person, please. Have I gone around the whole room already? Wow, that's because I'm so into this. I must have missed somebody. So Justina, Dr. Justina Mutale, we bring this session, the Generation Equality Panel, My Voice, Our Equal Future. It was an awesome time here. I'm glad that they gave me this panel. You know, it's lovely. And to hear such vibrant and energetic words about a woman that we all have a lot of respect for. I thank you all for all the energy that you put into making today a difference. And hopefully we'll be doing this again in 2021, right? With or without COVID, we're going to do this, okay? Thank you all very much. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow, this was a truly awesome panel. Young, vibrant, and hungry for change. So the disruptors, they have spoken, and we have heard them loud and clear. They want system change. Well done. It was really brilliant. So next, I would like us to hear from a young lady called Taonga Kandiwo. She is one of our scholarship recipients studying in the USA, and she's got a little message to share with us.
Hello, my name is Taonga Kandiwo, and I'm a student under the Justina Mutale Foundation in partnership with the New Seasons Youth Program. I'm 21 years old and I come from Zambia. Currently, I'm a sophomore studying biochemistry with a minor in mathematics at Claflin University in the United States of America. Though in the future, I hope to study chemical engineering because I believe it's at the forefront of human development. And with this degree, I would be able to gain the knowledge and experience I need to go back home and actually make the difference I would like to make. My experience while being here in the US has been great. I've been able to meet new people, both Americans and international students who would also like to make a difference in their communities. So they've helped encourage me and helped me improve myself as a person and academically. And the highlight, I think, was last summer when I was able to conduct research under one of my professors on nonlinear optical materials. It was great because I was able to have laboratory experience while I was also able to meet other students from other universities who are also pursuing a degree in STEM. My ambitions for the future are to first of all gain a master's and a PhD in chemical engineering, and to also go back home and encourage other girls to pursue a degree in STEM. I would also like to help develop my community, so I would like to either start a firm or to work for the government to achieve that. And the Justina Mutale Foundation has helped me by realizing my dream of first of all studying here, while also meeting other students under the program, because they have helped me in the times that I felt like I was homesick, and they've also got the same dreams and aspirations as I do. So it's really great to meet other students who feel the same way I do. Please donate to the Justina Mutale Foundation so that they can help other girls and other African students come to study abroad, so that they can realize their dreams and go back home and make the change that they would like to.
Wow, a very ambitious young lady with ambitious goals. Please remember that you can support more girls like Taonga by donating to the Justina Mutale Foundation's Scholarship Fund. Now, this said, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite our next keynote speaker, and this is nothing but the incredible Her Excellency Dr. Josephine Ojambo, who is the past Deputy Secretary General of the Commonwealth and also the former ambassador of the Republic of Kenya to the United Nations in New York. So over to you, Dr. Josephine Ojambo.
The COVID-19 pandemic has also shed light on the inequalities in access to internet and digital technologies, especially as we consider that educational institutions went viral. It's also been a timely reminder of the stark inequalities in internet access among youth. Whilst global statistics on access to the internet have increased annually, according to ITU, the number of internet users has grown by 10% every year on average globally since 2005. But the digital gap persists across class, gender, age, location, and other oppressive divides. The measures taken to control the pandemic are not only making these inequalities more visible, but they are amplifying the threat of the digital divide on people's basic livelihoods. It's my firm belief that young girls need to be in positive environments that facilitate positive connections for them to thrive. Women and girls have the power to change the way we approach leadership and response to local and global crises. Science says girls are predisposed to be leaders as predisposed as boys. Social differences cause the disparity. However, parents raising their children on how the media portrays women will find that there are less both cultural and organizational biases, whether conscious or unconscious. For example, the society is structured so that it's the responsibility of women to raise a family. It's an exception, which therefore allows both biases to continue. They're seen as less committed to work. Instead of seeing motherhood as an opportunity to develop leadership skills, it's seen as a gap in career. I'm sharing my own experience in this regard earlier on. In fact, women may have an edge due to our socialization. To get to a leadership position, we must accomplish so much more than men. And the notion that it's up to women to change things is wrong. It's not the women that have created this problem. We can look for examples of true leadership from women during the COVID-19 crisis. From Iceland to Taiwan, from Germany to New Zealand, women are stepping up to the plate to show the world how to manage a messy patch for our human family. And in Finland, Iceland, and Denmark, during this pandemic, we are seeing that women have what it takes when the heat rises in our houses of state. A message to women listening: let us support each other in the fight for gender equality to be an example of how the network and leverages we have, our individual and collective strength, can support other women.
So this was Dr. Rajambo, and I must say that I couldn't agree more that we actually need to change the way that we approach leadership. So, ladies and gents, we're getting close to the end of this session on generation equality. But before that, I would like to invite on Larissa Miller, the Chief Executive Officer of Phoenix, to present the keynote speech of Her Excellency Joel Howard Taylor, who is the Vice President of the Republic of Liberia. Unfortunately, she couldn't be with us today. Therefore, Larissa would deliver her keynote. Thank you very much, Larissa.
My pleasure. Your Excellencies, dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to present the remarks of Her Excellency Dr. Joel Howard Taylor, Vice President of Liberia. Her Excellency is battling a bout of laryngitis and couldn't be here tonight, but I'm honored to share with you these very important remarks on women's empowerment from my dear sister and friend, Dr. Joel Howard Taylor. It is an honor for me to be given this unique opportunity to add my voice at this World Summit of Women and Girls being hosted by the Justina Mutale Foundation. Firstly, because I'm a committed member to the ideals of enhancing the women's agenda across Africa and the world at large. And secondly, because I am aware that girls learn by seeing others do things. It is therefore an important aspect of our work to ensure that there are many diverse and active female leaders across the spectrum who serve as role models for our daughters and the next generation of female leaders to see and learn from. This is why such summits as being hosted today by the Justina Mutale Foundation are critical to our forward movement. I therefore extend my congratulations to my sister Justina, the officials of the Justina Mutale Foundation, excellencies and special guests who are on this platform today, our sisters, mothers, and daughters who are participating, and other distinguished ladies and gentlemen who are believers of building a more equitable world for all. Each of you are the real champions who are game changers in our one world, and I congratulate you for participating in the process, which will allow you to pass the baton to the next generation of able and ready female leaders who will continue to light the path for others to follow. I regret my inability to be with you on this important day, but am with you in spirit. My simple message to this summit is that each of us has taken on a role of making a difference, not only in our generation, but in the next. of showing by example that women are capable partners in development and should be given a chance to contribute their quota towards a better world. We remain positive examples that if given the chance, support, and environment to fully participate, our world will be a better and more peaceful one. To my sisters and our daughters, my message to you is one which has been stated many times by many persons before me, and is not a new one, but is one which gives hope and helps us carry along the journey. It is simply that you can be all you ever wanted to be if you will dream, believe, prepare, work, be determined, succeed, and be positive role models in your field while mentoring others and supporting the next generation with your advice, ideas, and finances. This has been the formula and still remains so today. This World Summit provides you an opportunity to understand and begin your journey into a successful future, which is a positive one for all of you. I look forward to the next summits where we can showcase your achievements and see you pass the baton to others. Remember that this is a journey of a lifetime. Put your best foot forward. I wish all of you a successful World Summit. Congratulations and best wishes, Her Excellency Jewel Howard Taylor, Vice President, the Republic of Liberia. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Larissa. This was nice, short, and straight to the point. A lovely keynote by Her Excellency Jewel Taylor. And I would like to say a few things, ladies and gents, that we are bringing this session to a close. And I would like to invite you to take some time to reflect on what you've learned so far throughout the day in the leadership panel in the morning, and then the human rights panel, and just now the generation equality panel. What was your key highlights? What are your key takeaway? And what impact does that have? And what are you going to do differently as a result of what you've learned today? Share your insights with us, of course, on social media, Twitter. You can hashtag us, hashtag GMF Leadership. And we'll take a short break and we'll back for the final session in 1 hour and 30 minutes. Thank you very much. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned.